Oh my God, you're right. Her head was in your ribs.
Her head was in my ribs, but she was Frank breech, so her legs were up here. So she was folded like a taco.
Oh my God. Jeremy right now processing this right now.
I'm still back on when you said it would come out of belly button for a C-section. I was like,
He's still okay, we're still 10 minutes behind over here processing.
That's where that comes in.
Yep, let's go home.
Have you ever found yourself scrolling through social media wishing that you were at that epic concert or game instead of just watching from your couch or on social media? There's nothing like the energy of being there live, feeling the beat of the music or the roar of the crowd. And that's where today's sponsor, SeatGeek, comes in. Use the code WILD10 and get 10% off any tickets on SeatGeek, whether you're a new customer or not.
No matter how many times you've used SeatGeek before, the code WILD10 will get you 10% off your next order. So pull out your phone, open the SeatGeek app, and add code WILD10 to your account. Don't wait. This offer is only available for a limited time.
Welcome back to Wild Till 9. Joining us today, we have content creator, self-proclaimed NFL trophy wife of all trophy wives, interior designer, and podcast host, Allison Kuch.
I love that intro. Oh my gosh, that's incredible.
Did I hit everything?
No, you hit everything.
You can take it with you.
Dog mom and new mom as well.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like that's like a...
Yeah,
mom times 3.
I got promoted to not just dog mom, but also human mom now.
Oh, that's big.
It's
Did you get promoted or did you promote yourself?
I think my husband promoted me.
No, are you kidding? You did the work.
Oh no, I did the work.
Yeah,
but
you did the work.
It takes 2 to
You're
tango.
right. You're so right.
Yeah, I've heard, yeah.
Okay, so not to immediately jump into our deepest anxieties and traumas, but I also have a metaphobia.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm
being pregnant when you have it.
Oh my God, I'm dying to know.
When I asked her, like, what were you super excited to talk about? She goes, oh, I cannot wait to talk about
Allie has a
pregnancy,
metaphobia.
No, it's crazy because when I found out I was pregnant, which... Like, long story short, we got pregnant on our first try, which is, everyone was like, why were you so shocked? Like, you know what it takes to make a baby. And
sorry, my bad. Let's keep going.
It takes 2.
Yeah, my bad.
It takes 2.
And so I got pregnant on my first try. So when everyone was like, oh my God, why were you so shocked? I was like, oh, well, I thought it was going to take a little bit longer, which, you know, great.
Sometimes.
Thankful for it.
Yeah.
But when we like put up the video of us finding out, I was like, I'm so scared. It's not to take care of a child. I was scared to throw up.
Yeah. No, I am literally I'm so aligned. I'm so aligned.
I was terrified the entire first trimester. I didn't throw up once.
Oh my God. Did you feel
close calls?
Yeah,
close calls for sure.
Yeah.
There was one day I was supposed to be flying from LA to Chicago, which is not a short flight. And I woke up and I was just sitting in front of the toilet and like I had a fan and it's so weird, but like when you think you're gonna throw up and you have this phobia,
yes,
you do weird things to make yourself not throw up. So I had ice like sitting on my body, and then I had like my hand in cold water. It was just
the systems that she'll create.
Yeah, the systems are in place.
Or like when she like feels like it may possibly potentially happen.
We've talked about emetophobia before. Yeah. It's so much about the anticipation of actually getting sick.
No, absolutely. Yeah. It's all about the anticipation. Yes. So if I think I'm gonna throw up, I'm like outside just walking back and forth and trying to focus on something like so minuscule, like, oh, that crumb on the ground, and just like trying to create a story to like distract myself.
Oh my God, 100%. Wait, I'm so glad though that your first trimester was just smooth sailing the entire time.
I wouldn't say smooth.
Yeah. She said she didn't puke.
Didn't throw up.
I didn't throw up, yes. But I did almost pass out because, well, I'm like already getting graphic. I couldn't go to the bathroom for like 4 days and I almost passed out on the toilet.
Yeah, I bet.
And my husband wasn't home. He was at football camp. So I called my mom and I was like, if I don't talk, call 911 and tell me fast. My mom was like, I'm gonna DoorDash you prune juice.
Oh my God.
What have you tried?
Yeah.
For 4 days.
Oh, like the TikTok. Gonna be honest, I struggle with, we're pretty open about constipation as well too, and pooping in this household.
Yep, we know.
I've forced Jeremy to be more open about it.
Usually she waits until I start my meal. And then it's like, let's discuss.
My family is just so open about it that it's just like not a thing. And so I've had to really like learn boundaries.
Yeah.
And I'm working on it.
Yeah,
I'm working on it.
Well, no, but when you get pregnant, everything's just open because once you're spread eagle at the doctor's office and there's 4 people in front, you're like, okay, I have no boundaries now.
Right, there's you're in the stirrups.
Yeah. It's kind of humbling.
Display.
Yeah.
I don't plan on doing it, actually.
I mean, your legs in the stairs would be just so. Yeah, show.
Let's go to commercial break. But yeah, no, I think there's like I would be very curious to understand how Isaac views uromatophobia.
Oh yeah, great question.
Well, Isaac is like a pull trig kind of guy.
Sure.
If he feels nauseous, he's pulling trig.
No, I
yeah.
wouldn't purposefully do it. Definitely not purposely.
Actually, yeah,
To make
you know
yourself feel better?
No.
My
Really?
my
Okay.
best friend is though. She
couldn't do
like,
that.
she's so comfortable with it. It's crazy.
I'm like, that's absolutely wild. But crazy enough, I got norovirus in like 2
I've
months
heard
ago,
this.
and I ended up throwing up for the first time in like 10 years.
No way.
And
And
Just
it kind of cured my
survived?
phobia.
Yeah. I mean, you.
Wait,
but-
it's like there's nothing more real of exposure therapy than just like
Yeah.
it actually
It literally was coming out. I tried swallowing it and it didn't happen. So there was
like if there's a lesser of two evils, and swallowing I don't think is any better.
I had food poisoning as well, like maybe 7 years ago, and same thing. Like when there's no option.
Yeah.
But I feel the same way. Like afterwards, I was like, wow, that really wasn't as bad as I remember. But now I feel like I'm so focused on like, oh, I'm so 110% positive that it's the anticipation and not actually the action of getting sick.
Absolutely. And you just want it to be over. Like if it's gonna
Yes.
happen, like let's just make this
do
quick.
it. Let's just get it over with.
But that's so much easier to say now, not in the moment.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Watch me
so
be
true.
nauseous. I'm just
Yeah, because I don't have emetophobia. I don't want it to happen every time. Like it would be nice if this didn't happen.
Yeah, of course, of course.
But when you're pregnant, my doctor at least gave me Zofran once I hit a certain amount of weeks, just because I ended up going on like a boat, like a sailing cruise for 5 days in my first trimester. He was like, "I'm gonna give you
Is that
Zofran."
advised?
Yeah, you can do it.
No, that's not what I asked.
but like as
Is it advised? I wouldn't advise anybody in their first trimester to go on a boat for
boat.
5 days.
Yeah.
But I grew up, my parents raced sailboats.
Okay.
So
In
I knew I
Michigan?
wasn't gonna,
Is it big sailing up there?
You're kidding.
No, not at
The
all.
Great Lakes.
Yeah, but like,
oh yeah, that's right. The Great Lakes are there.
I guess. Yeah.
I hear laughing in my ear.
I know.
So is there something funny that I didn't catch?
That's
Or-
very,
Like,
like,
is
me
Michigan not like
answer.
the most famous for like lake-related activities
Yeah, I
of
guess.
literally every
I guess if you're doing
state?
something, a sailboat would be exactly what you would do in Michigan.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, but so I knew I wasn't gonna get sick. But they did give Zofran, and I'm not kidding. Now it's my comfort bottle of Zofran. It goes everywhere with me.
I feel the same way.
Yeah.
Same thing. I'm a walking pharmacy, and Zofran is one of those things that has to come with.
Everyone's like, "Oh, I kind of feel nauseous." I'm like, "Want Zofran?" I don't think
you-
I'm
you
able
wanna
to do
tell
that.
us?
Also-
I'm not a drug dealer.
She didn't. Allegedly, no, it's not.
I was lying.
But also, like, there's something to be said about just like smashing. Like, Zofran would be like, I feel like the last like line of defense.
That's the 911 for
yeah,
me. Yeah,
that's the like we're gonna tell your body that it doesn't actually need to do this.
totally.
When
First,
it probably
like
should.
it's first Tums, and then it's Pepto, and then it's Zofran
We call
for
it
me.
borrowing when we use Pepto.
Yeah,
'Cause
right.
You're borrowing
You're-
from the
you're
you're borrowing
borrowing
the
for
next
the next day.
Yeah. When you can't have a movement for days because that Pepto saved you.
Yeah, you're like, well, it was kind of worth it.
It was worth
Yeah.
it. It's always
Yeah,
worth it.
absolutely.
It's always
Sometimes it's worth it. You're always like just attacking, like, oh, stomach hurts, eat these 3 things. I'm like, I'm gonna wait for 10 more minutes. Just see how it goes.
So anyway, so we just had we booked our first gyno appointment, but did you guys go through all of like the family planning, like appointments and stuff before you got pregnant, or since it was kind of early in the trying period?
I'm going to be very real. I didn't go to an OBGYN for like 4 years.
Okay.
And so my first time spreading open, there was already a child
baby in there.
inside of me. Yeah.
Oh my
So
God.
no, but I did, crazy enough, when my husband was playing for the Cleveland Browns, I was so bored in Ohio.
Cleveland.
Yeah, what else to do?
The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame was
love
great.
Cleveland, honestly.
What else to do?
Right, but I downloaded an Audible, no free ads. But I downloaded this book and it was like, oh, to read this if you're trying.
Right.
And I remember like the biggest advice was go to the dentist because I guess a lot of diseases
Yeah.
start in the mouth. And that's one thing that you can't get done when you're pregnant. So go to the dentist.
Wait, what?
I just heard that like if
Yeah.
you because I had a tooth infection 2 weeks ago and had to get one removed from my mouth as an adult. And I didn't realize in the comments below, like, by the way, good thing you did that because all these other things can happen.
Like heart disease,
Yes.
like crazy things. And it can lead to the fetus.
Yeah.
So go and get your teeth cleaned.
You can get your teeth cleaned while you're pregnant?
I think you can get them cleaned, but you like other things. I mean, I don't know.
I mean,
It depends how like.
Wait, that is crazy.
Yeah.
We also just recently learned that babies don't drink water, and so we're
We just started giving our daughter water, and it's crazy.
That's crazy.
She loves it.
but like,
She loves it. Like, what is this new
She's like,
fancy
thank God I've been
beverage?"
thirsty for 8 months.
but like of all the things that can like hurt your child, water.
Honey, they can't have honey for the first year of their life.
That
Okay.
makes sense though, because of like the raw stuff in it, right? Is it the raw
Yeah, it's like
allergy stuff?
bacteria or
Yeah.
something.
Does
yeah.
it make sense?
No, that does make sense. Just because like I had really bad pollen allergies, and they were like,
Ooh,
let's like get this into your system
I
when I was
feel like that's
younger.
complete bullshit.
What, like consuming local honey for
By the way,
allergies?
but I've also heard that my bullshit is bullshit. So who knows?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm calling bullshit on you.
Yeah, I'm calling bullshit on that
And
too.
honestly,
I don't know the
fine.
word, but I was desperate and I was like, I'll try anything. But yeah, that makes total sense because there's like
Yeah.
all like the raw stuff
Yeah.
in it.
But yeah,
makes
water,
total
water
sense.
like,
either.
I mean, for the longest time, we weren't drinking pure water really all that often.
What do you mean?
Like for the majority of civilization, we had to like find a way to like make water not kill us.
Oh my God, I thought you were meaning that like we were drinking bad water in our
No,
house. And I was
no,
like, is there something
no.
that you're
But
not
you know what's
telling
actually
me?
crazy? When you guys handed me this bottle of water, that's like some of the best water you can drink. They
As
have
if I
actual
don't follow the
minerals.
water guy on TikTok to tell me these exact things.
TikTok.
Is that like a person?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. But when you handed me this, I was like, ooh, that's they have the bougie water.
Literally,
That's like
it's,
good water.
it's no more expensive than anything else. And I was told by a guy on
Really?
TikTok, and I
Really?
now believe it. Yeah.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
it goes through all the like,
And that
different
is
ways.
where we do get all of our educational sources of information. is on
Unfortunately, that
TikTok.
is
Absolutely.
It's become
And that's
that.
the only
Yeah.
news
I used
source
to, like,
that I can rely.
I used to laugh at Laura and be like, "It's stupid. You spent too much time on that app." Now I'm like, okay, I'll do it too.
Oh, it took when he sent me for years reels of shit that we'd seen on TikTok
need
months
to
ago.
rehash this. We don't
And
need
I
to
was
rehash
like,
You're like-
Jeremy, download the fucking app, please. For the sake of both of us, please.
He's like just now getting on like Tiger King. You're like, oh, buddy.
Oh my God, come on.
You know me,
please.
electrician, plumber,
He's a really like
linesman.
green flag algorithm.
Oh my God.
When
See,
I see a hot girl, I just go, do not show me this again. Not interested.
green flag.
Not just move it on. I've seen this dance 14 times. Moving on. Get me back to the guy in Brazil.
water guy.
Cutting off the electricity safely.
Do you ever watch the guy who cuts the lawns?
Yes.
I
The
love
zigzags are my favorite.
Isaac and I love watching that just on YouTube like all the time.
the lawn
My
cutting guy.
favorite is
yeah, me
like
too.
when like someone straight up comes like, hey, what do you think you're doing over here? And like there's like an altercation before he gets to cut the lawn. And he's like, I'm just
Oh, and
just
he's
cut-
like, and then he was like, I'd love to cut your lawn for
just
free.
mowing the lawn for free. And they're like, that's what I thought. Yeah.
I've recently been on Fossil Talk. Again, I have no interest in fossils whatsoever. But
You're
I
not into
do-
archaeology?
Yeah, no.
Gonna be
That's
honest,
weird.
wasn't my top three
Really?
growing up. But I'm watching this dude crack open these rocks, and everyone, I'm like, fossil,
You know,
fossil, fossil.
I've
fossil.
seen those.
Yeah?
I've been there.
Quite
Does it do it for
satisfying.
really?
Yeah.
What is it scratch there for? Like what is it you're looking for?
It's the reveal, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the reveal.
Because I would have thought that like actually dinosaurs wouldn't be your favorite type of creatures, only because a lot of neck.
A lot of neck, a lot of
Yeah,
neck.
Lauren likes like
I really like the
round.
shape of like a round animal with like, I mean, you saw our dogs. yeah.
Not much neck there.
Not much neck,
Like
like
when the-
meaty guy.
Like between the stomach and like the head.
The head, it's
There's
just-
not much change to the neck. It just kind of just stays the same.
Just
You
Or
like
it's
a little
like-
a BV.
Yeah, I love a beefy meatball, basically.
Yeah.
How did the dogs and the cat react to Scotty?
Okay, so the dogs, we recorded like the reaction of like us walking in, but I had a C-section. So I
Yes.
was like wobbling in. The dogs are trying to jump on me. I'm like, okay, my dogs are not like your dogs. Like they are not, they're
excited
not
to see you.
gentlemen. They are, excited.
Yeah.
So we put like the car seat on the coffee table. We were watching the baby on the car. Like, we didn't just leave her there unsupervised. But the dogs like went over, sniffed her, and they're like, okay, we're out.
No way.
Really?
But now they have a really cute bond. She loves the dogs. So like, we lay in bed in the morning and she's always trying to pet them. They're super sweet.
Oh my
Is
god,
it- how
that's
old are the
so
dogs?
sweet.
5 and 4.
Okay. So like old enough to not be puppies, but still like have energy for days.
Absolutely.
Right.
Gus, I don't think will ever be an adult.
Right.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do they have the sense of being like, oh, this is a fragile little being?
Absolutely not.
Oh, got
Okay,
it.
got it. Cool.
That's how
Great.
I foresee our dogs as well too. Is that
Yeah.
they're gonna like the way that they step on our esophaguses. Like I don't think that they're gonna be smart enough to be like, oh, this one's a little
No
more fragile.
social awareness. Like
Got it.
they are, and whenever they walk past her, she closes her eyes because their tails will hit her in the face.
That makes sense,
So
yes.
now you'll just see her like blink really weird.
But you can always tell
Yeah.
a kid that like didn't have dogs or like animals growing up because they just don't know how to like interact with them.
I didn't-
sure.
I didn't
Yeah.
have dogs growing up though.
But like, okay, then you didn't have any animals, nor did you like have friends with animals. People like just for whatever reason grow up in a house that just didn't value animals.
I mean, like,
Value.
we valued animals. My dad just like claimed that he was allergic, so I had a hamster for like 2 weeks, and then it got given away to my nana,
Right.
and then it was very, very tragic.
Diana's like, I don't want this.
No. Oh my god, you would
She
not
wanted
believe.
it?
Oh my god, they let this hamster have full access to their entire basement. Like this hamster was like a wild roaming hamster.
Oh.
Tell her the name.
His name was Marshmallow.
Yeah.
He was adorable.
Oh.
He got like a proper burial at the end of his life. This hamster ran their household. Oh
Rest in
my god.
peace.
Rest in peace, Marshmallow.
I want you to know, there's not a single thing in the world that will let us have a marshmallow ever again.
What do you mean? A marshmallow is the name, or marshmallow is a hamster?
A hamster. The
Oh,
the
yeah.
vermin,
Yeah.
gerbils.
Vermin.
That was
I'm out.
so brutally harsh.
It's not for me.
Vermin.
And you know what? It is the smell. It's the smell. You know, you can tell a hamster
I mean, their
house.
cage doesn't smell great.
The hamster houses, you can always smell that. It's like the third little sister that just like can't get over it. Just loves her little hamster. Smells terrible. Sounds like a farm coming out of her room.
I'm dead.
Jeremy's got thoughts. He's got feelings.
Yeah, I know.
He's got
But
feelings.
with children that grow up with pets in the home have a better immune system.
I believe that.
Probably because dogs are out like
Yes.
walking everywhere, bring it in the house.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Also, like I'm kissing my dog's lips. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no, but she means it. It like kissing the lips, and like sometimes the lips smell bad, real bad.
it's okay. Just a little teeth brushing.
No, I'll give like a head kiss,
Yeah.
a side kiss, but like I'm gonna close the mouth and go in. I'm not.
No, I'm a believer of the full lip kiss.
See, Scotty now just started eating salads, and so she'll give
Salads?
Solid.
I was like, she eats salads already?
No,
I was
she's
like, I
not
don't even
eating
eat salads.
She's like, yeah, my mom's a crunchy mom. Like, she's like an almond mom.
Nothing would surprise me.
No, but so whenever she eats salads, she'll give the dog, like the dogs will be sitting there, and then she'll give them some, and then put her hand back in her mouth, and I'm like, no, and I'm like,
Immune system.
yeah, it's
immune
like
system.
you win some, you lose.
Does she have a favorite food?
Oh, yeah, steak.
Good.
Shut. That is so D1 baby behavior of her.
It's very D1
She's like,
baby behavior.
protein.
And Isaac is just like, oh, like she wants to like play, like give her a piece of steak. I'm like, she can't have steak every day.
I like how you can eat steak before water.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
that's-
Yeah, you're so
No,
right.
yeah.
Oh my God, she's literally like chowing down red meat before she can have water.
It's crazy.
That is crazy.
Was she like a normal size when she came out? I know you had a C-section, but like, was she?
9 pounds, 6 ounces.
Okay. Yeah.
That's a D1 baby.
What were you?
Yeah.
Oh, like 6.5 pounds maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything over 9 pounds, I feel like is like thick.
8'6"?
And she also was 39 weeks like on the date.
Oh, wow.
So if she had cooked a little bit longer, good thing she came out of my belly button. That's all I gotta say.
Oh, belly button.
Yeah.
Because how long was she in the breech position for?
As long as they could check.
No way.
Yeah, I tried everything to get her out of that position.
Yeah.
Like we were in Vegas at the time. I went
Yeah.
to acupuncture, chiropractor. Like I did. You like put this mugwort down by
I
your
saw
foot.
this on TikTok.
We tried everything, and my doctor in Vegas was like, "Oh, I'm going to try an ECV, which is where they manually put their hands on your stomach and move
try
the
and-
baby."
yeah.
But my doctor in Orange County was like, I promise you, like, you're not going to want me to do that. I heard it's
Yeah.
worse than labor.
Oh, it's really painful.
Yeah, it's really. And then now to find out that she was as much as she did weigh,
Yeah.
I don't even think it would have been possible.
Right, there probably wouldn't have been space without like busting down your ribs.
Well, yeah, her head was like, literally right here. It was
Right, because she's feet. Oh my God, you're right. Her head was in your ribs.
her head was in my ribs, but she was frank breech, so her legs were up here. So she was folded like a taco.
Oh my God. Jeremy right now processing this right now.
I'm still back on when you said it would come out of belly button for a C-section. I was like,
He's still okay, we're still 10
I
minutes
literally
behind
was
over here
thinking,
processing.
That's where that comes in.
No, it's
Wait,
not.
I didn't realize
Yeah.
that a baby could be in that position.
Which is crazy because that's how I was
No
in my
way.
mom's stomach.
Really?
Is
Yeah,
is that
karma.
typically genetic?
I don't think so. I just think it's
Bad
like
luck.
Oh my
I
God.
know.
Was there like a sense of like ease going into it, knowing exactly what the delivery was going to be like since you had kind of a plan in place?
No, I was awake during surgery. They were like moving my intestines out of the way to find this child. No. And I swear, my husband says he has PTSD, and I'm always like, you can't have that with my birth. Like,
Right.
Yeah, relax.
like you can't have birth trauma when you didn't give birth, but they pull and tug. So you're just like,
Rocking back. Ah! Oh my. I have heard that they literally take your organs out, set them aside,
Yeah.
pull the baby out, and put them back in.
my husband said he looked over too early.
Oh, I don't think
Jeremy would be
I need
on
you
the
to know.
ground.
I need you to know.
Yeah.
The ground.
There'd be 2 patients. Because
Yeah.
I would be out.
It's a wild experience, but I would do it again. I didn't, like, I kind of loved my C-section, but my doctor he was like, oh, I sewed you up a certain way so I can do it like the natural way next time if I want
Sorry,
to.
what?
Right.
Yeah.
He's
Right.
a special.
He's like, don't worry, I'll put in an extra stitch.
It sounds like when I go to get to get a suit like taken in, I go, but leave a little bit extra in there just in case I kind of go back out.
No,
Like,
literally.
we've got
Right.
you. No
Yeah.
worries.
Wow.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Wild. Also, so you don't know how heavy the baby is before it comes out.
No, it's crazy you say that because I went in for an ultrasound like 3 or 4 days before my C-section.
Just your second
and-
trip to the OBGYN or is that third trip? Or?
Yeah,
Cool.
exactly. One of those. And he was like, okay, I'm going to like just measure out the size and we'll see how much she weighs. He was like, oh, I think like high 6, like low 7s. I was like, okay.
Perfect.
No. And then they hold the baby over the tarp like Simba, and they're like, "Here's your child," and I was like, "That looks bigger than 7 pounds."
Like, I know it's 7 pounds. Looks like
Yeah,
an
it looks so
kettlebell.
big.
6 pounds, huh?
It's 6 pounds.
Crazy. Yeah.
That's so you like did you feel pain, or you just feel
No.
kind of the tugging and stuff of like the movement?
You feel no pain. It's like just pressure. And it is weird because you can't feel like from like
Here
your boobs
down.
down.
Yeah.
And so you
As it
can't,
should
you
be.
feel like you can't breathe. Because you have to like remember to breathe.
Right.
It's
Because
really-
everything's kind of frozen.
Yeah. And crazy enough, everybody warned me during their C-section, people throw up a lot. So I went in for my C-section more scared to throw up than I was of being cut open, being awake during
Oh
surgery.
my god, that would literally be me.
So I told the doctor, I was like, keep pushing the Zofran. Like,
Yeah.
keep it coming, buddy.
put that in the IV. Let's
Yeah.
get that in the bloodstream.
Oh, no, he
Can they?
Yeah.
That's great.
Oh, yeah.
I'm always
that's
talking things you
amazing.
can and cannot do.
Yeah. If you just gotta ask, I feel like sometimes.
Yeah, there are so many things you can and you can't do. And some people would even say like, oh, you took a Zofran when you were pregnant.
Some people would say, insert anything.
Pregnancy is controversial.
Yeah, for something that happens quite naturally.
Well, and then like studies came out and it's like you should or shouldn't take Tylenol when you're pregnant. You give your baby like X, Y, and Z. And I was like, I had the worst migraine when I was pregnant. I was so scared to take Tylenol. And then people are like, oh, I took Tylenol like every day.
Yeah.
So there's like different, yeah.
I mean, it's all. I even just think about like the comments that we get when we post anything about our dogs, and I cannot imagine the level that it goes to when you're posting anything about being a mother or like
Yes.
parenting.
We don't even show our child and people have something to say. They're like, oh my God, you're doing X. I'm like, whatever.
I think people, for the most part, don't you think they think it comes from a good place? It's like they want to warn you of something that like they.
I would say
Sometimes-
some of them come from that approach. Some of them, not all of
Yes,
them.
No, definitely not. No, definitely
of
not.
them.
Like they're just like I feel like a lot of these things start from a good place.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely people that like want to share their opinion to be like, oh, this worked for me.
Right.
But it's sometimes the delivery is just a little off.
I would say most of the time delivery's
a little off,
Could have
yeah.
taken like a workshop or two.
Yeah.
Especially like when it comes to like your kids.
Did you guys like have the conversation, obviously because your job is social media, like beforehand being like, how do we want to go forth having another family member and not putting them online?
For sure. I think that we initially were like, okay, we're going to keep her as private as possible. And like maybe down the line, like we'll post photos, but like we just really wanted to like maintain her privacy, especially early on.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it can be a slippery slope. Like, oh, like we recorded this memory. I can't wait to post it. And for us, we wanted to make sure like we had good intentions. But now that we haven't shown her for as long as we have, if we show the slightest bit, like I think I posted her eyeball today in my Instagram story and someone was like, I love seeing her. I'm like, okay, it's just like,
Which,
Now
yeah.
that's become like a
obsession is
thing.
becoming weird.
Again, starts from a good place.
Yeah.
Weird to think about.
Yeah, but I feel like there are people who are super nice about it, and then there
Yeah.
are also people who are really weird, especially in person. Some people be like, "Oh, don't worry, I'm not looking." I'm like, "No, you, oh no, you can."
So nice. That's
Yeah.
like so
So if I see somebody in the street and they're like, "Oh my God, like how's Scotty?" I'm like, "Oh, you want to see a picture?" Like it's very like I'm a mother, and I'm
that's
like, I
different.
think she's the most beautiful child
Right.
in the world, obviously. Yeah.
But then some people on the other hand will be like, "Oh my God, is that Scotty? Can I see her?" And I'm like, "That's weird."
That's
Right.
weird. That's
Yeah.
weird. Or if they're like, can I get a picture with everyone?
Right.
Like that's
And,
weird.
Yeah.
Oh my
But
god.
also like that would be normal that would be weird for anybody. Like insisting on getting a picture with anyone's baby would be odd.
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
Like, that'd be weird.
Isaac's content around the baby is so funny. Him being like giving my daughter a $5,000 weekly shopping because she's not impressed by your whack ass
Crusty
son.
dusty.
Yeah.
Watching him as a dad, I'm like, you should have always been a dad.
Yeah.
It's like
he's like a professional girl dad.
absolutely. And everyone's so like mind blown that he wanted a girl. They're like, really?
Why is that?
He plays football.
Right,
Because
because,
he grew up in and around like a locker room. He has a brother who has a son. Like he never really was around girls. And so he was like, yeah, I want a girl.
Yeah. It sounds like he has enough dudes.
But like masculinity, everyone's like, you didn't want a boy?
Yeah, totally.
Well, I used to be scared of the idea of having like a daughter. That in my mind, that seemed so foreign. Like what I wouldn't know what to do. Now I'm like, actually, sounds like maybe nicer than dealing with a guy.
I feel like you having a girl would be. I mean, I guess us. I guess I'm
Wait,
part of the studio.
hearing you call your like future baby like a guy.
That is crazy.
I'm like already annoyed with him. I'm like, that mouth of yours? Okay, yeah.
I feel,
Try again.
I feel as if there's a world where we have a girl as karma
Yeah.
for the fuckboy antics
I
that
know.
were part of your life in the past.
I know. That's also what scares me.
Yeah, exactly. Because you know how the fuckboy thinks.
And then she's gonna bring home a
She's
guy
not,
and you're
gonna
like,
do, she's not gonna do any of these things right now until 34, maybe 40.
yeah, exactly.
Okay?
This is gonna be karma
We'll
for you.
circle
I
back
think.
when she's 50.
Right.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Isaac's content too about how he was saying that she like obviously with both your ethnicities like he's like this is my where's my pigment?
oh no. Our pediatrician brought it up our last appointment. She was like, I thought she was gonna be tanner.
Thank you, Doc.
no, she said that. I was like, no, I'm tanner than her. But I don't
I feel like kids change looks. Like I had like way lighter hair. Mm-hmm. How about you?
I looked basically identical
Okay.
to
All
when I came out the womb. And so like I'm half Asian. My mom is Asian
Okay.
and my dad is white. And when I'm in the middle of them, I look so much like 50-50.
Yes.
Ooh,
It's gonna
interesting.
be so interesting to see what Scotty grows up to look like.
For sure. And I know she tans really easily because like right now, it's summer in California. So her stroller, her legs will always be out in like the sunlight. So her legs are really tan.
Right,
So
right,
just
right.
from flip her over.
But it's crazy with mixed kids. Like our next kid might come out really dark.
Yes. Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
I saw the funniest TikTok the other day of same thing. Like it was a mixed family and they had 4 kids and it was everyone got progressively lighter. So it
Yes.
was like running out of ink.
No, that happened with my friend. It happened with one of my best friends. Her husband is half black
Yeah.
and her oldest daughter looks just mixed. And then
Okay.
her youngest daughter is like very white.
Right,
Like,
right.
Well, Scotty has blue eyes.
Scotty has blue eyes.
Yeah, they're blue.
Wait, that's so crazy.
Because
that's-
Isaac's mixed, his mom is white and has blue
Oh,
eyes.
Isaac's mixed. Okay, got
Yeah.
it. So the genetics just like
You're like,
skipped
are
a little
you?
bit.
You're
Okay,
like,
got it.
I feel like genetic wise, like he might not be.
No, I think
No, but
No, I was just like,
he is
damn,
mixed. Yeah,
come
he's
on,
mixed.
blue eye like gene.
I just
'cause-
also didn't realize that it's never 50-50, but I don't know actually how to explain that. Like it's not usually like half of one and half the other. I feel like there's some that like get more of one side than the other.
my science and biology drops off here too. Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
I know that it's a thing. I couldn't
It's
explain
like the
thing.
Punnett square where you're like, no,
yeah,
you
yeah,
guys
with
know
the
what I'm talking about?
chromosome, right? Yeah, with the
I
X
think
and
so.
the
Yes.
yeah.
But so
Welcome to science.
my
Did you
guys
mom,
understand each other there?
we got it.
so, I think
But
so.
like my mom has blue eyes. His mom has blue eyes. I have brown eyes. So and he has brown eyes. But you have like
Right.
a 25%.
Yes.
Right.
We're looking for recessive traits.
Yeah.
That's the
Right.
word we're
Traits,
looking
yes.
for.
Because like
And so you
my
guys are
mom has
both-
green eyes. Or no, my mom has blue eyes. My grandma has green eyes. So we could have.
Oh, my
anything.
dad has green eyes.
So like our kids can have
Yeah.
anything.
I was so pissed when I came out the womb with brown eyes. I was
You
like,
came out pissed. You're like,
I came out
Yeah.
pissed.
This
I'm
is
like,
why
where
I'm
the
crying.
fuck are my green eyes?
Where's my recessive genes?
Where's my recessive gene?
I feel like we have a
goddammit?
lot of like dominant things going on with us. So we'll see what the kid comes
Yeah,
out
we'll
looking
see.
like.
We'll see.
Yeah, I also was a not a thin baby. So like,
How big were you?
like closer to 9 pounds.
Oh my God.
But
oh
only
my
like
God.
20.
how tall are you?
I'm 5'5".
See, I'm 5'11", so
Yeah.
the idea of a 9-pound baby isn't terrifying.
Right.
Right.
But like the shorter you get, I'm like, oh, yikes.
Yeah, 9-pound baby in my body feels really
Yeah.
like the majority of me.
Yeah. Because like you basically because he's 6'5".
5, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're gonna have tall kids. Like that's just
She's
how-
99th percentile.
Is she
Yeah.
really?
Yeah. Like we go in and they're like, oh, that's a 1-year-old. And I'm like, no, she's 8 months.
Oh my God. What are you gonna do for her first birthday?
I don't know where we're going to be living.
Okay.
Oh my God. Yeah, this is such a big part of your life too, is like the relocation
Yeah.
based on Isaac's wherever he gets his next team.
yeah.
Should we add some context
If.
to that for people? So they
Right. Me just over here being like, yeah, fucking duh. Everyone
because,
knows.
Yeah, just because we're
So I know. I feel like you
People
should
are
give Isaac's background. So Isaac is
He's in the NFL. He's
Yes.
played in the NFL for, this will be his 8th year.
Mm-hmm.
And he played for the Chargers, Colts, Browns, Vegas.
Raiders.
Yeah. Vegas was a lot of fun.
I'm so proud of you.
He's like, I know that one.
I'm so proud of you.
Yeah, and he's a free agent right now, so
Yeah.
he could get picked up at any point. He also could not. I feel like the longer you're in the NFL, the sketchier it gets because the average is like 2.5 years.
no way.
And people don't
Yeah.
know that. at
No,
all.
it's hard.
Yeah.
Obviously. But think there's only 32 or 53. What am I saying? There's 32 teams, but there's 53 guys on every roster. So think of 32 times 53. I don't have
Also,
that math, but
his
not a
one
lot.
position, like,
Yeah.
it gets
Right, it gets
smaller
even
and
more
smaller
Smaller
and
and
smaller.
smaller.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like
Yeah.
the older you get, being 29 in the NFL is like old.
Oh boy.
I'm like, okay.
29.
But like, I guess like that when you're thinking about your future too, I'm sure it's nice to be like, okay, at some point soon-ish, there's going to be an NFL retirement and we can settle in a city.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's coming. I mean, not anytime, like it's not this year.
Yeah.
But the longer he's in, he kind of wants to go out on his own terms. He doesn't want them to make them being the NFL.
No, but like, I can't imagine not feeling like that was at least
your decision.
Yeah.
Well, and I feel like something that really bothers him right now is that he was on practice squad. He's been on practice squad the past 2 years, not for the entire season, but just like a few games here and there. And he's like, I don't want to go out as a practice squad guy because he started for so many years in the NFL. And he's like, I feel like now if I go out, people are like, oh yeah, that practice squad guy. But he's like, He's like, what am I known for?
In practice squad, for anybody who's not familiar, they don't see the game day, right? All they're doing is making sure that the team gets better.
Well, you would think that, but my husband, every time he's been on practice squad, has played in the game.
Oh.
So how's that work?
There's so many crazy rules. Like you can get elevated 3 games when you're on practice squad. So it's essentially, so there's 16 on practice squad, 53 on the main roster.
Okay.
And so basically the practice squad guys are there if someone gets hurt, like for practicing, but it's like, and essentially it's like you're doing the same practice. You're in the same facility. You have to go to the game. You have to be just as ready.
Which I think would be so frustrating so often, just be like, I'm so ready to play.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. But then if you let your guard down, it's happening today. And then I can't imagine being on practice squad not performing well when you have the opportunity. So it would be even more stressful.
For sure.
Yeah.
But my husband, when he was with the Cleveland Browns, they cut him and he started while on practice squad. So when people are like, you're not good enough to be on the main roster, but he's starting ahead of guys that are on the main roster, there's just a lot of politics in the NFL.
I think when anyone starts a sentence with you're not good enough and it's referencing a professional athlete, they should just think about it one more time.
Yeah, seriously, right. Like, how fast is your mile?
Coming from your couch.
Right, exactly.
But like,
let's shut that opinion
I
down.
feel like we all, if we just would just like be real with ourselves, we'd agree with that. But just like for whatever reason, just forgets and like, let me tell you about your profession.
Literally.
Crazy.
Well, that's like us watching the Olympics. I'm like, oh my God, how did you miss that?
Yes.
It's like, Allie, you're on your couch.
If you had 1,000 attempts, you would miss every time.
Every single time.
Every time.
I love every time there's an Olympics when someone's like, guys, we really got to rally to have like one regular person also competing so that we can just show how like elevated these athletes really are.
We need the control group.
We need the control group. And
I would love to see that for like gymnastics.
Yeah. Oh my God. Like I can't do a somersault.
Not to mention like someone who like did it in high school well. Like, like even like pretty good and just like being destroyed.
Right. Or like the diver. Think about the divers.
Yeah. By the way, think about the brand deal that somebody with a personality that had never like dived before.
Totally.
Amazing.
No, I totally agree. So what would be the ideal city for you guys as a family right now? Have you ever found yourself scrolling through social media wishing that you were at that epic concert or game instead of just watching from your couch or on social media? We totally get it.
Last week with Bruno Mars, really badly, really badly.
Wow, I didn't even know that was he out there?
Yes.
He's such a good performer.
Oh, now he's a good performer.
Listen, not my favorite entertainer, but he is an incredible performer.
When I say my FOMO has never been so real.
There's nothing like the energy of being there live, feeling the beat of the music or the roar of the crowd. And that's where today's sponsor, SeatGeek, comes in. Use the code WILD10 and get 10% off any tickets on SeatGeek, whether you're a new customer or not.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Yeah, that's huge.
Concert season is here. And artists like Billie Eilish, Post Malone, Charlie XCX, Sabrina Carpenter, Zach Bryan, and my favorite indie artist, Tate McRae, are on tour. You already know SeatGeek is the best place to grab those tickets. Personally, I'm a huge Tate McRae fan.
We know.
Not that I need to tell anybody.
We know.
So I'll be definitely using SeatGeek to grab some tickets to her show.
Listen, I'm all in for Tate McRae too, but you know that I will be first in line for Sabrina Carpenter.
So
new album dropping tonight.
I should get you a ticket as well.
I would like it, of course.
Okay, I didn't know. Listen,
Jeremy, I showed you Tate.
Okay, babe, come on.
I know that you tried to tell the world about Tate, but I showed you Tate.
No, I did tell the world about Tate.
You did tell the world about Tate.
She was just a small indie artist before I got it.
No, listen, I totally get it. She has been killing it lately, and I cannot wait to hear Espresso live.
No matter how many times you've used SeatGeek before, the code WILD10 will get you 10% off your next order. So pull out your phone, open the SeatGeek app, and add code WILD10 to your account. Don't wait. This offer is only available for a limited time.
Well, it's funny. People always ask like, oh, what team do you want your husband to go to? And I'm always like, whatever team, just because I'm trying to be brand friendly, but like NFL team friendly. Like whoever's listening, just, it's okay.
A team.
But I mean, obviously I think I would love if he could retire as a Los Angeles Charger
Yeah.
because that's where he started.
Right.
And
cool.
because we live in Orange County, it would be
Yes.
really nice. But
Can you, I think I know how this works, but if you live and perform most of your home games in a state with crazy taxes,
Yes.
that's where you're taxed, correct?
so no, you're taxed each game.
Each game's different though, right?
Yeah. So
Whoa.
yeah. So like for Florida teams,
Yeah.
like
half the home, like half
they
the
make
games.
a lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's crazy when my husband was drafted. He was drafted in the 7th round, which there's only 7 rounds in the NFL draft. So free agents that went undrafted were making more than him because he got drafted to a team in California.
Yep.
Right, in the California taxes. Yeah. Are super fun.
It's funny. We tried living in Texas, and I was like, "Wait, I can't do this. I know the taxes are better here, but I
Yeah.
can't do
Yeah,
this."
yeah, but
There's
it's-
a reason. It's like a membership fee.
Oh, I bet. Oh, and
Yeah.
they talk about like the difference between like people that like play in major cities versus not major cities for like their professional career and just how big of a difference that makes.
For sure. Yeah. So
even think about it.
the taxes are so crazy.
Yeah.
And
Well, for some guys, I'm sure, I bet if you look historically, the amount of guys who make the majority of their money in their entire career while they're in the NFL, maybe it's changing now, probably outweighs the other side of it. So it's like if you're being taxed as heavily as possible the few years that you're making the most, that would really impact you over the course of
my God,
a
yeah.
lifetime.
absolutely. Yeah. Taxes, it's really sad to see taxes get taken out.
Yeah.
But
No matter what your job is, taxes are
For sure.
just to
Yeah.
the heart.
Yeah, but I've learned to not complain about anything with like tax reasons because people are like, "Oh my God, I can't feel bad for a rich person." I'm like,
I get that.
But the NFL, they advise these guys like when these players are rookies in the NFL, they have like a bunch of people come and talk to them about like money,
Yeah.
fame, family, trying to like take advantage. And a huge thing are like financial advisors giving them the advice like, think of how much you're making in the NFL divided over the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But once you hit, I think it's like 45 or 50, you get your pension.
From the
So, like,
NFL.
yeah, you get like a monthly
Oh,
payment.
How many years do you have to play though?
It every year it compounds.
Okay, so
So like
you
the
can play
more
once.
Isaac plays in the NFL,
Yeah.
he has to have he has to play in 3 games to
In a
get a
season.
year of pension.
Wow.
And
you gotta
so
get
like
3.
the longer so that's why when people are like, just have him retire, I'm like,
He's got 3 games in him.
Yeah.
Get it out there.
Yeah. To get out
yeah.
there.
And so it's basically 1,000 each month. The more
Okay.
each
Wow.
year.
Wow. Every year that you play.
Yeah.
Wow.
So when you hit
That's
10 years, it's like
huge.
10 grand a month.
That's
once
a
you hit.
huge difference.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also like for somebody who like did not plan well, I'm sure that's like the difference between
Oh yeah. I mean, I've heard of some guys that have signed like $30 million contracts and they're broke.
And they just blow all
Well,
of
also,
it.
Yeah.
Isaac's age is probably the last that didn't really get any NIL.
He didn't get any
exposure.
NIL,
Yeah.
no, which is crazy because I paid for everything.
Wait. Hang on. Catch me up. What's NIL?
Name, image, and likeness.
Yeah, so when college players are able
college
to make
players.
money,
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. And that's
whereas
new.
so Isaac couldn't even have a part-time job in college.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like I think back to when I was in school singing to like pay my bills, and
Yeah.
I was allowed to like make money through things that I did with my university.
Right, but
that would have made
athletes
me
couldn't.
ineligible to
Yeah.
like do anything.
There was a
Right.
YouTuber, Gretchen Garrity, was rowing for Boston College and she had to quit rowing because they wouldn't let her make money on YouTube.
yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She like
Wait,
posted a
that's
whole video about it. Yeah.
crazy.
But now NIL, you're allowed to.
Okay.
I
Which is
mean-
how it should be, I feel
But I'm
like,
sure
right?
she's probably pissed. Like,
You're like, what the fuck, my rowing career?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Oh, look at my influence.
I know. Yeah.
But not only like you cannot make any money, but also I feel like a lot of these athletes don't have the funds to just like bridge that few year gap between like making no money as a kid to hopefully going pro. It's like
It's
what are you supposed to do?
crazy. So basically, when you go from playing college football to hopefully getting drafted, there's like a 7-month time frame of you making no money.
Right.
So you have to rely
Well,
on your family.
You were
But if
making
your
money
family,
before, right? So it's like you leave school not making money
Yes.
into making no money too. It's even worse.
Exactly. So like Isaac's football agent basically had to like front the money for him to have an apartment, for him to train,
Yep.
Yeah.
and like have food, buy a laptop, like
Yeah.
things like that. The other side, I was like, okay, I guess I'll be your sugar mama. That's fine. But then once you get drafted, you're still kind of like
Yeah.
poor. I mean, if you don't get drafted, you don't get like a signing bonus.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you have to wait for football season to start. And so before football season, I think you're making like $500 a week, which is, yes, is money.
But in like a lot of cities, that's not even to cover
Right.
rent.
That
No.
might be okay in some
Yeah.
cities. Like if you Green Bay, that'd be fine. Like especially if in a community that gets it. But in LA, what would you do?
No, so yeah, in LA, so my husband signed, I think it was like a tiny little apartment in Irvine. And when he moved in, he was like, wait, I don't know if I can afford this.
Yeah.
It was really a weird, and then he got cut and he was on practice squad and he was like, wait, I really want to get out of this
Yeah, I
league.
really can't afford this.
But
Yeah,
also,
yeah, yeah.
how many people go, you know what? I got to take the risk. I have to live here. They sign up for the apartment. They don't get the job.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh,
No, that's so
now you're
scary.
in debt more than you ever imagined.
Right.
It's crazy. And so now I feel like some teams have like work with apartments to make it so that they can
okay.
get out of their lease
Yeah.
or what have you not. Yeah.
I mean, but like the agent thing, they wouldn't be able to do that until they left college, like up until not that long ago.
yeah. So he could talk to agents, but he couldn't officially sign with one until
Right.
yeah.
Because like even if they wanted to send him money, they couldn't.
No.
Yeah.
I'm sure
Crazy.
some did illegally.
What do you mean some?
Not Isaac.
No, of course not Isaac, but others. But like that's a sticky situation.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's wild.
Yeah.
But I was a sugar mama.
I love that for you. How do you mentally like handle the instability is not the right word, but like the idea of having to pick up and relocate at any time? Because how many times have you moved in the last couple years?
Well, in the last year, I moved from Vegas to California, or I guess moved to Vegas. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
In the
I moved
last
5
year?
in the past year.
And over the course
Oh
of
my
his
God.
career, how many times?
Ooh, I have
Double
20.
that? Okay, got it.
20?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because you move for off season and then you move back and then
Right.
moving cities and it gets complicated. I've lived in some crazy, like I never thought I'd live in Vegas ever.
Right.
Being able to see the strip from my backyard was wild. I
That's
was like,
crazy.
I'm pregnant. This is weird.
That was when you were pregnant. Oh my
Yeah.
God. You're like, Scotty, take it all
I
in.
always wanted to walk my dogs down the strip and I never got the chance to. It's just like it's like such a normal thing that you never think you would do down the strip.
Sure.
I never got to, but
You know
Maybe
what?
one day. Maybe one
Yeah,
day.
one day.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you put your mind to it, I think you could happen.
I was like, I think my 9-month belly and 2 dogs shouldn't be on the strip right now.
Yeah, I think maybe that you
Love
made
to
the
know,
right decision.
would you still get the same pamphlets? Like, ma'am, like
Right.
ma'am,
I think
I'm
if you
just
have a
taking
fanny
walk.
pack on, they're like, never mind.
I'd argue that might put you back in the running. Yeah.
Is it tough to make friends when you're moving so much?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that's what I'm realizing now, especially as a mom, is that I have like such a small friend group because moving around all the time, like none of my friends from my hometown ever really got it. And I feel like I never got to like visit and it was like a weird, they didn't relate to it.
Where'd you grow up?
Michigan.
Okay. Yeah.
And so I feel like my best friends are the ones who get it, who I'm able to call and be like, oh my God, like this is happening and they can relate to it. So I have like a small core group of friends, but making friends is really hard, especially I have a lot of social anxiety. So like going into a room full of like 32 women, I'm
Yeah.
like,
Terrifying.
and now I'm on social media, and so people might have an idea of who I am in their head.
A preconceived notion of
Yeah,
who
and
you
I'm
are.
like, oh fuck.
Yeah,
It's
but
like,
But you don't think about
terrifying.
that at all, right? That's not like a dynamic that's also weighing on your like conscious. Yeah.
no. And so I think it's something that I feel kind of sad about now because like, especially now being in like Orange County and when he does retire, I'm like, oh fuck, like I have to like start like hanging out with people. Like, how do you do this?
Ask Lauren.
Because people do it right out of college, but I'm like, wait, I'm like about to turn 30. Like, how
There's
do I
no
make
adult
friends?
playbook for making and keeping friends.
Yeah.
But I do have a child, and I feel like that's a way
conversation starter?
I can, no, playgroup.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
hot mom walk. Like,
100%.
Yeah.
Mom walks. I feel like.
so I think that, but I can't do it now because I'm like, oh, if Isaac gets signed, I'm like, see ya. Like,
Yeah.
You're
it's
like, I don't
hard.
want to make any like too good of friends because then it'll be too difficult to give them up.
Well, then you'll be sad.
literally.
Yeah, when you have to break up with them.
No, actually, it makes me not want to like commit to friendships. Is
Right.
that weird?
No,
No.
that's what I was like saying. Like in terms of like how do you mentally approach like having the notion of maybe having to just pick up and go the next day? It's so crazy.
No, like some of my Orange County friends, I'm like, okay, yeah, so like I could move, like, and I'm not good at texting. I'm not good at that.
Like it's like if a terminal disease. Hey, it was really good seeing you guys today. You might not be able to do this again. But like it was great meeting
This was
you.
so wonderful.
It's so
maybe see you
hard.
next week. Maybe see you never again.
And also talking about your husband in probably like a way of like, well, he won't be here for the next few months, like, or he will be here, and like almost like having to like speak for him when like you don't
Yes.
even know.
And I'm like, I swear I have a husband. I didn't make him up. Like,
and we believe you.
You're like, okay. But some of my best friends are now like their husbands play in the NFL and they're just with different teams. teams.
Yeah.
And so I can call him up and be like, hey.
That's nice. I feel like there's probably a shared bond there of just like
For sure.
the
There's a trauma
similarities.
bond.
A trauma bond. Yeah, there's nothing stronger than a trauma bond.
Yeah, but it's weird being, not weird, but it's different being friends with like the girls who have the husbands that sign the big contracts. Cause I'm like,
Yeah.
you've lived in the same city for 5 years.
Must be nice.
Yeah. I'm like, when I call you crying about my husband getting released, like you don't get it.
But if anyone's gonna like hopefully kind of get it, you know. But also, everyone at some point in time is going to have a husband who no longer plays in the NFL. Eventually,
Eventually
they
all
might be calling
done.
you. Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're like, wait, this is hard.
But also, like, what about such a weird thing that probably people don't have a lot of empathy for? Because how can they relate?
That's where I kind of struggle with like talking about it on social media because I'm like, nope, like your husbands aren't in the NFL. Like you're not going to relate to this.
So it's like a niche category.
Yes.
Of, yeah.
Like
yeah.
I don't feel like I'm on social media to be relatable because no one can relate to this. But that's where I kind of struggle is like being open and honest while still understanding that like I live a very privileged life.
Totally.
And I do have really cool opportunities. And like, yeah, my husband's been in the NFL. Like even if he never played again, like it's still really cool.
Yeah.
But then when my husband gets cut, I'm like, can I
Can you be sad about that? Yeah. Can
It's
you be sad about
hard.
that publicly without people
Yes.
saying like, oh, well, like, what do you mean?
People have told me like, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I can't feel bad for you.
Yeah.
And like,
yeah, yeah.
I don't think you can ever win that person over. You know?
No,
Yeah.
yeah. That's where I'm just like,
But,
whatever.
like, you can be privileged and still feel like you are isolated.
I definitely feel that way.
You know?
I'm like,
But like, I think people have a hard time with isolation. Like people like don't see that. Like it's
Yeah.
a
I
difficult thing to like qualify.
right. I think that's where I'm trying to show people as to why I might feel sad. Like
Sure.
me moving to Vegas at like 5 months pregnant. I didn't have any friends in Vegas, moving like not living near your family, your friends.
The privilege.
And like having to make friends.
That's weird.
They're like, but you're living in like a nice house and you can see the strip.
Totally.
And I'm like, but it's lonely
Yeah.
because like my husband's gone all the time. Like going to these doctor's appointments alone, like giving birth in a city you never thought you would.
Yeah, that's tough without like the familiarity of just everything.
And then I was also planning to give birth and Isaac had an away game that weekend. So that's why I say I'm like really grateful he got fired.
Yeah. No, honestly, this is like paternity leave.
No, literally, it was,
Yeah.
Isaac says it's forced paternity.
Yeah, this is first paternity. This is perfect. This is perfect.
He would have never been able to have all these memories otherwise.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
and so that's where I'm like, okay, yeah, like you can't get back.
The first year.
Yeah, you can't get those memories back. Like the waking up, like the 3 a.m. Like, you can't get that back.
The bottle washing the diapers. You can't get
you can't get that back. Yeah, but it's crazy because he made the decision to not take a practice squad
Okay.
spot when he got cut.
Does that like negatively impact you?
I feel like as a veteran, not really.
Okay.
I
So
think
if you're proven, yes.
yeah, after being in the league for 7 years, like obviously he would have liked to be on a team, but
Sure.
it just wasn't because you can still get cut on practice squad.
Yeah.
So he's like, oh, am I going to go to like this team and I'm going to say Nebraska because I don't want to say actual
Yeah,
teams.
yeah, yeah, totally.
Like you're going to
Perfect.
go to this team in Nebraska and like bring your family out there a 2-week-old and then get cut. It was.
It's not worth the risk, I feel like,
It
for
wasn't.
you guys.
But also,
yeah.
if you don't like show up and I feel like are ready to perform at a really high level, you'll
Right.
for sure get cut.
Absolutely.
And then it's like you've just like screwed yourself both sides.
Right.
For sure. And then like go out into a game and you're like, oh, I was up at 3. Yeah, it was just a whatever. But now he's like, okay, I just want to be back in football. He's like, practice squad, like, I don't care. Like, literally.
Right. Because, and he got to enjoy and like soak up like the first,
Yeah.
you know, all the first memories.
And
with-
now it's like we really want to have like a few memories with the NFL with our daughter.
Yeah.
Because like we were dating when he first started. We
Yeah.
got engaged. We got married. And like, so all of these things, we just wanted to be like full circle.
Yeah.
So, we'll see.
I mean,
there was a crazy thing that I saw about how a psychic gave you a list of men who were going to make the NFL.
that was a lie. Well, that was a joke.
The way that I'm so gullible.
Wait, you're so-
we'll be right back. Babe.
That's so funny. No,
I fell for it
definitely,
hard.
I lie all the time because they're like, oh, you knew he was going to be in the NFL. Like, that's why you started dating him.
Oh, because people love
Oh.
I'm sure love to have that narrative.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
And you were
Wait,
like,
if
no,
you know
I
these
loved him
things,
when he was
could
when
you
he
give
was
us some insight?
broke.
Yeah, I'm like, oh yeah, that guy's going to the NFL. Someone should date him.
Imagine
Right,
that.
right.
You start like a service. It's like for an hourly fee.
Right.
You will let somebody know in their local area whether or not their boyfriend's going to make the NFL. That's fantastic.
Well, and that's why people, like when I first started on social media, everyone was like, oh my God, you're a gold digger. You knew he was going to the NFL. Like, that's why you're with him. And so then I was like, yeah, a psychic told me. But it's crazy because in his like draft class, he's the only player that's still playing.
Wow.
Really?
So I'm like, I had a really good psychic.
Yeah, you had a
That's
great psychic.
crazy. Wow.
She nailed it.
Yeah, right.
She
I'm
nailed
like,
it.
yeah, whatever.
I mean, I guess I didn't realize 2.5 years is shorter than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Yeah.
I had no
I don't know what I
idea.
thought it was, but 2.5 feels short.
Yeah, and so that's why everybody in his draft class at Notre Dame. So everyone, all of his like friends ended up like playing a few years, and then like it just gets really hard. So the fact that he's been in the NFL for 7 years, I'm like, that's why I can't take these guys seriously. That are like, your husband sucks. I'm like,
Okay. Also, again, put your husband in the room with any of these guys and say, could you just say that one more time?
Yeah, I think in his 6'5"ness is just like say it one more time.
Yeah.
But he'll like DM guys back and he's like, thanks for the support, bro. And they're like, I'm such a big fan. Can I get a signed autograph?
But like, I think it's just like a weird jealousy thing. I just don't think that some guys are willing to admit that like their football days are over.
Okay, but I'm not gonna lie. I definitely sit on my couch and I'm like, Isaac, how did you miss that tackle?
But you get to do that. You're the one person.
He comes home and I'm just like, that was a bad
That was a
clip.
little bit of an ick.
I'm like, that's gonna go viral.
I know you already watched this with everybody else.
No, he did
But I
have
need
a
to watch
moment.
this with
He
you.
had a moment that went viral and it was really bad.
Oh, what happened?
No.
Oh, he got stiff armed. He's gonna hate me for bringing this up, and I'm sorry. I
internet
Wait,
Yeah.
does that mean, is that like when
Like
you get
somebody went like this and like
Yeah.
he fell. Turf is slippery. I don't know if anyone's ever walked on it. I'm just making excuses. I'm like he was
Because
trying
it was
his
really
best.
slippery. He was trying his best to be nice.
Yeah, but it's funny now because like now he's on social media when people see like one bad play that usually is just like nobody cares about. It's
Yeah.
like now it's
That's the thing.
It's a little
that
more
TikToker.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like you can like look it up in like Giphy and there's like 1,000 different reenactments
Yeah, I
of it.
will literally show you after.
I bet
It
you
was a
have it.
whole hashtag.
But you should save that just so you have it.
for memories.
It's going to be so
I
funny
can't wait
one
to show
day.
Scotty one day.
Yeah.
Oh, she'll love it.
Yeah,
She
remember
will love
what'd your
it.
dad say? Okay, 1 second.
Yeah.
By the way,
Scotty,
I
go
think
show your dad this.
Yeah,
real
I'm
quick.
like,
I genuinely
let's
think you're doing
humble him.
God's work with your podcast, by the way.
Thank you.
When I tell you, when I was listening to the way that you were describing different positions for the first time to someone who otherwise wouldn't understand, I was like, where was this so many
Right.
years ago trying to explain what the game of football is?
I feel like the game of football, once you get it, it's actually really interesting
Once
to watch.
you get it.
Once you get it, it just needs to click.
It's not like a sport that if you had never played it, makes sense at all.
Yeah, right.
At all.
Because you're like, wait, what's a first down?
Also,
and like,
and like I
I'm
wouldn't-
still every Super Bowl I'm like, okay, one more time, run these rules by me, one
you're
more
like,
time.
run it back,
But like
Run it
any
back
guy
one more
who's
time.
frustrated with their like girlfriend not sitting down and watching football for 8 hours on a Sunday because they don't get it, like I feel like just they need to give them your podcast.
Literally.
Say listen to a couple episodes. We'll listen
Absolutely.
to it together. But like I wouldn't say this if he was in the room, but since he's not, I will say when I was listening to him describe his own position compared to the way that you were describing it, I was like, maybe I don't understand how football works. And I
No,
played
No,
it.
I want your description. I want you to be like, he run wide, fast, and hit.
Wait,
Like
and-
I want the abbreviated.
Every
he goes
time.
after the quarterback. That's all. That's the
That's
best
all
way
you
to
need to. Yeah, that's great.
And
Got
literally,
it.
but like,
Locked in.
literally, like she like says something. He's like, okay, so the way it's gonna work, and like we're just like into the details, into the weeds, and I'm like, oh, maybe okay.
That's
Like,
where
Isaac,
that's where
we
you
need to
lose
dumb
me.
it down.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh.
yeah.
But
He's
you're like,
really bad at dumbing
this
it down.
position, Jason Kelsey. I'm like, okay, got it. A good
Right.
comparison. Yes, the
Okay,
center,
now I
arguably the
understand.
least athletic person. I was like, that is funny.
He's the
Objectively
least
funny.
athletic. He doesn't have to do much. He just has to stand there like a wall.
But then get smashed every time.
Yeah.
by a
Yeah.
large man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Did you guys fall easily into the routine of like co-parenting?
Yes.
Really?
I'm like, kind of.
Yeah.
Impressive.
I think because we started off and we didn't know any different and we both don't work traditional jobs.
Yes.
So it actually becomes really difficult because we haven't accepted any help with our daughter. No nanny. Like we've had a babysitter like 5 or 6 times. And it's really only like days that we actually have to go somewhere to like an event or something. So I feel like it's been more seamless than I thought. But I feel like there's also the other side to like co-parenting where it's, okay, I'm like pumping and doing all these things and I want him to like step up in certain ways.
Yeah.
And with both of us being home all the time, I'm like, oh, like we need our space.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah. And so when football season does hit, I feel like it's going to be a little weird.
Right, because
I'm
it'll
like,
be like
oh,
a new
shit.
chapter of like figuring out like how you're both gonna be, a present parent.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, is he going to come home after she's already asleep? Like, it's going to be weird, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, you'll figure it out as soon as into
That's
the
what
next
being
chapter.
a parent is just figuring it out.
Just figuring it out. Were you just sitting on Google? That's what I hear from a lot of new moms is that you're just like,
Oh, yeah?
what temperature should this be? Is this normal? Does this poop? Is this the right color poop?
I don't know what they did before Google.
I say that
Guess.
so my mom always says that there
Guess.
was one handbook of like motherhood that everyone just passed around to all their friends and they would refer to it. And it was kind of like
That's why
a
we all have the same
dictionary.
trauma.
Right.
Yeah, right, because we were all raised with the same like from this fucking handbook.
But now I feel like there are so many, there's a few courses that different people like offer. So we watched a few courses. It was like pre-gaming for like the game, except it's for like, a child. I'm like, this is training camp, sit down. So we watched
just the thought of like, we're going to watch this till the end and you're going to have a good attitude.
No, Isaac's sitting there like taking notes like he's in film. I'm like,
That's so cute.
But then the baby comes and you're like, wait, I forgot everything.
Yeah. I don't know anything.
But I highly recommend those, like the pre-game.
Yeah.
The pre-gaming the game, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
I'm just curious, like, do you feel like many of the husbands in the NFL are as attentive as he is? And you can brag on him or
Well, I
rag
was
on
gonna
him.
say
either way.
Isaac's like a walking green flag. I feel like he like
really
invented
is.
the green flag.
Yeah, but like, what's the secret sauce?
There are some really good guys in the NFL.
I'm sure.
I mean, I feel like with any career, there's like obviously some bad apples.
Yeah. Of
course.
And usually the bad people are the one making like,
The headlines.
oh, like this athlete is cheating on blah, blah, blah.
You know how boring of a story it is to be like, my husband's super supportive.
Exactly.
He's such a
Those
green
stories
flag.
don't go
Yeah.
viral.
He doesn't get mad at me over stupid stuff.
No one's like, oh my God, look at Isaac being a dad.
yeah, sure, okay.
It's like, oh wow, he
you
knows
see
what
me
time she goes to
stiff-armed?
sleep. Like, exactly. So yeah, it's there are some really great guys in the NFL and great dads, but it's hard to be a dad when you're in the NFL, especially during football season because you're gone every day and on the weekends. It's like,
But like, I guess as a wife and a mother with a husband who could have an excuse very easily, like to not be
Right.
around, what is he doing that like you wish you could just like gift other women? Like, what's the thing you could call to be like, wow, this is the thing I feel like that I really appreciate that he does. That if you're not getting the, maybe talk to your man about.
I feel like if you have to give instructions if you leave, like this morning,
Ooh,
I literally,
yeah.
I got ready, like left him some milk and I was like, okay, see you later. I didn't have to say like, okay, when you lay her down for a nap, turn on the noise machine or like, oh, if she's crying, do this. So like not having to give instructions, I feel like that's like the bare minimum.
So understanding enough about what's going on to not have to give
About your
instructions.
own child.
Right.
Yeah, know your child.
It's like when like a dad refers to like, oh, I'm babysitting today. And I'm like, no, well, that's actually your
Isaac literally has a hat and it says dads don't babysit.
dad's.
He created it.
Wait, what is it? It says dad's.
Dads don't babysit.
Walton on
Yeah,
backslash
yeah.
Dads Don't Babysit available on our merch store right
No,
now.
I agree.
That's
Like
a cute
there's something
hat. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
so weird about thinking about how a dad being like, oh, I'm babysitting today. I'm like, wait, but that only applies if it's not your kid.
Right. But on the other side of things, I'm like, okay, if during football season, she's going through changes and like her routine changes up, if he's gone at work, it makes total sense as to why some dads don't know the routine.
Yeah, no, totally.
If you're gone, it's like, well, how are you supposed to know the routine?
If you're not there. Yeah.
I
It's
guess
not like
you could
he's
vlog it and like give him a video at the end of the day.
Yeah, but
This
vlog
is
it,
what happened.
Vlog it. That way I'll make sure I'll know all.
You know what? I feel
Right.
like there has been sometimes with like the dogs, I'll be like, okay, here's exactly. But I also know that that's like how I'll keep your attention.
Well, like there's a happy medium between like here is like to the, like the period, the comma, like every single step, and I'm like, okay, like get me to the good
And
stuff.
here's the bare minimum. Like just make sure he takes like the seizure meds. And
thing-
like here's like the probiotic.
The thing Lauren does better than anything is because they have such weird medication schedules. She'll
They
get.
take a few supplements, okay?
She
It's
literally
nothing
puts them
crazy.
in individualized
Like
like,
their
the pill
omegas.
packs. You know, like when you have like a Monday through Friday.
You have a pill pack for your dog.
Individualized morning and night. It makes it
And like this is
idiot-proof.
Moose's and this is Diggy's. So
Oh
you
my
can't fuck it up.
idiot-proof. Makes it idiot-proof.
See, but then you can't fuck it up. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't fuck it up.
Well, I mean, but I haven't.
guys are gonna
I
rock
haven't fucked it up.
Parenthood.
I haven't fucked it up yet. I could. But all this just sounds like communication.
Yeah. Wait, so back to emetophobia for a second.
You're like, this is what I really want to talk about.
Yeah.
No, I have so many questions. I feel like this is, it's such like a niche phobia too.
You
that
think
I
it's
feel like-
niche until you post about it, and,
And
then
like- and then
everyone's like,
everyone's like,
oh my
oh my
God.
God.
Yeah.
That's the internet. Just like
yeah, you can
think you're
find,
alone,
there's a community
you're
for
not.
everything.
Yeah.
How have you, so like I have found with the dogs, when the dogs get sick,
Mm-hmm.
I can hold his little ears back, get his head in a trash bin, and it like activates like a mom override.
Mom instinct, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Do you feel like it's the same with you and Scotty?
So Scotty's only spit up like twice in her life,
my
which
gosh.
is crazy.
She's got your
But
genetics.
Yeah, she does. I'm like, thank you. But when she had norovirus too.
Oh.
And so I never thought that, I thought babies like spitting up, whatever, but babies can throw up. And so it like freaked me out. I literally rushed to the hospital.
Question. What's the difference?
You can tell by like the consistency.
So like, there's
the
two
way
different things.
yeah.
Okay.
Throw up and like spit up.
Wouldn't have known.
Spit up is like when you burp a baby, right?
Watch somebody else be watching this and like, no, it's the same thing. But it was very like looked different. It was like,
Right.
oh my God, it was so sad.
One made you really scared and one doesn't.
Yeah, one I was like, okay, we're going to the hospital.
Yeah. Was she okay?
Yeah, she was fine.
Totally.
They were like, okay, fluids.
Got it.
Right.
Like
So
literally
she
just
puked on her own.
milk.
It just came out. That's good.
They were like, okay, just rest. I was like,
Okay, got
Okay.
it. Got
Noted.
It. Got
but
it,
like
got it.
first time mom, I'm like,
Yeah. Oh my God.
terrified.
I've like seen videos of people who will be in the ER parking lot while they give their baby like their first like
We're
peanut
planning on doing
butter.
that this week.
No way.
Oh yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
what? Hold on.
So
Roll
like,
back.
so like, I'm just an anxious being. I'm an anxious person, and like I see the logic in being like, what if my child randomly has a peanut allergy? So they give
It's like the most severe and like most common allergy. So
Right.
people do it in the hospital parking lot.
Just in
so they're
case.
close.
Honestly, I'm hearing this. I'm like, someone must have some good insurance to be like, let's just test this today. Let's see how it goes.
You have to.
Yeah.
And so you actually have to give allergens when they're young so that
Wow.
Yeah, to like introduce it to them.
Oh, okay.
And so like if they're like sensitive to eggs, you're supposed to like continue to give it to them or whatever.
to like wean it into
Again, different parenting styles. I'm like, oh God. But yeah, so like peanut butter, you're supposed to give when they're young so that you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
otherwise, like somebody else's mom is gonna like, oh, snacks for the kids, and it's like didn't even know. Like,
Yep.
Give little Johnny something he's never had before.
And you have to do it over like the course of a few days. You have to continue to give it to them over the course. I'm
Oh,
like,
interesting.
Like we're just be hanging out.
I just feel like there should just be an introduction to life kit, and it just goes through all the things that could probably kill.
Yeah, nobody tells you this.
Yeah.
There's no like pamphlet.
Maybe it's time for a new booklet.
Yeah, I know, right? There's a few booklets now, but I feel like all contradict each other.
Yeah, it's so hard because there's so much information.
Not only is there so much information, but there's a lot of bad chemicals that like didn't exist 20
Yeah.
years
Oh
ago.
my God, when people were writing
and, like,
books.
in diapers and like
Yeah.
because the tampon thing just came out.
Oh my
Wait,
God.
tampon?
Oh my
Yeah.
God. Yeah.
I thought we were like baby powder with just like that massive issue. Too.
No, yeah, that's a massive. But I'm saying now,
Aren't parents just dousing us in carcinogens every time we like had a new
We're
diaper?
fine.
Yeah, we're okay.
We're fine-ish.
oh no, but I'm drinking the Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're all in.
I'm all in. I'm like,
Okay.
oh, it has a chemical. Okay, get it out.
What do you feel like you're the most uptight about that probably is fine? Roast yourself.
Maybe the Alani,
I'm like, none of it's
knew.
fine.
The Alani knew in your body.
But that's for her. She's like, oh, I'm
I'm still breastfeeding though.
Yeah,
so,
yeah,
like,
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I'm like, the most uptight, I think food probably.
Yeah.
Because I feel like some of these, like I don't know, like baby cereal and stuff, like all of these things, I'm like, okay, like, is it high in lead? Is it high in this? Is it
High in lead.
Yeah.
What do you mean high in lead?
Root vegetables have a lot of heavy metals. Sweet potatoes,
really?
carrots.
So
People are like, Hallie's a crunchy mom.
when you're telling me like I hear that,
my
I just go,
God.
I'm done with vegetables. I knew I didn't like them anyway.
Oh God,
That's
yeah.
all
You
I
just,
needed to
yeah,
hear.
he eats like 2 vegetables to begin with, and now he's fully off.
But like also this is my first child, so I'm like really scared I'm gonna fuck this one up.
Right.
And
Yeah,
so
yeah.
maybe like child 4, like
Child 4?
okay, wait, hold on.
All right. Okay. I
didn't mean to say
obviously
it.
you guys are good at
But
it.
like maybe, I
okay.
don't know. I love being pregnant and I like being a mom.
Okay. That's
so
probably a good
child
thing.
4 potentially in the future. Oh my God.
I'm like only at 1. I'm like, let's try 2 first.
Yeah, see
And
how
then-
it goes, and then we
yeah,
can-
we'll see how it goes.
Okay, not to balance like a heavy topic right after that, but like how do you balance loving being a mom and postpartum depression? How can you like those two things
It's
be at the
so
same
crazy
time?
because anybody on the outside would say exactly like
Yeah.
that. But it has nothing to do with her. In fact, like she's the only thing that makes it better. But then like the sadness is like, who am I? But I love being a mom. It's a really weird thing.
Well, so for
to go
context,
through.
like I feel like you're the first creator that I've like listened to who like is actively talking about it while it's going on. Not
it's like literally still going.
but like yeah, but like not like years
like
later.
literally still sad.
But it's one thing to like hear from someone who's like got the polished answer of like, yeah, I went
Yeah.
through that. I wish I
Yeah.
had known more. And otherwise, you're like, yeah, today sucks. Today's not good.
Yeah.
And like, there's such a different. I don't know. As a guy, it was very. I don't know. Interesting to hear from.
I think my husband, it was very interesting for him to see, like, watch it happen.
Sure.
Because I remember very clearly the first day that I was like, wait, I feel like absolutely nothing. And he looked at me and was like, are you okay? Like, what's going on? He was like, do you want to call like the OBGYN? And I was like, I filled out the pamphlet and I circled all ones and nobody called me. So,
Right.
so yeah, I also feel like I have a lot of like trauma with my, not birth, but I was rehospitalized.
That's right. Afterwards.
And then like my breastfeeding journey didn't go as planned. And so like a lot of things just like, which I act like I'm the only person that's ever happened to, but it's hard. And I
It's
think
the first time it's happened to you.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly. And so I think that with all that stuff happening, there's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of like them moving around all the time, not having my family,
Totally.
picturing birth to go one way and then it went a different way and then getting rehospitalized. It was just like a lot.
Sure.
And then I'm like, who am I?
Yeah.
That totally makes sense.
But I feel like everybody does have like the midlife crisis where they're like, wait, what am I doing?
What's going on? Yeah, I have a quarterly life crisis. I don't
Yeah.
even have a human child dependent yet.
Very few women, I think, are being told by people they don't know while they're going through all of it that they
Yes.
shouldn't feel bad about anything because they don't get to.
Yeah, it's weird because people are like, oh, like you shouldn't feel sad because like motherhood's beautiful. I'm like,
It is.
I'm like not negating that.
Yeah.
But it's really hard to like have yourself. Like
Yeah.
I'll never be old me, which is totally fine because I feel like I like this Allie better. But there are parts that I'm like, oh, I need to figure this out again.
Yeah.
Like even driving up here, I was like, oh wow, I haven't been in the car alone for a while.
Wow.
Like this is nice. Like to like listen to a podcast. Like something as simple as that. Like
Yeah.
going to the grocery store, I'm like, oh wow, I don't have to like there's not a baby in my backseat.
Right.
Right. So finding just like solo time too.
It's like refining yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
But like the new
that's right.
self.
Getting your pink back.
Getting your pink back.
Getting your pink back.
Yep.
I still am waiting for some context on that.
Okay, so flamingos, when they have a baby, they lose all of their pink.
Really?
And then after
Is
they
that
gain
where
it,
it
yeah,
comes
they start to gain it back.
Well, that's fucking
or
adorable.
it's sad, or it's like them being sad and then they gain their. I'm pretty sure it had to do
But
with
the fact that
pregnancy,
there's like there's a journey, they can get it
Yes.
back, right?
And you get
Wow.
your pink back.
yeah, they get their pink back.
Someone smarter than us, tell us why in the comments that happens.
Yeah.
There's
yeah.
like there's an audio on TikTok about like getting your pink back, and that's
Okay.
how I learned about it. And then I was like, wait, I want to get my pink back.
You're like, I would like my pink back.
I feel like my pink has came back, but like it's a different shade that I want it to be eventually.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
But I feel like each month of being a mom, I become more and more like this new self,
Sure.
like more confident in it.
yeah.
I also feel like it's just her getting older and like me being more confident as a mom.
Right. As time passes.
I mean, I feel like when the thing first comes out, I would just be worried that everything I do is wrong. Like,
Oh, well, I feel like you just so commonly hear you get in the front door and you're like, okay, now what now? We just keep it alive. Like we
Right.
just have to
No, you literally get home from the hospital like, okay. You just it's like the awkward like an office
Yeah,
scene basically.
like,
You're just like sitting there like
and it never ends.
it doesn't.
until they go to
They
college.
just let you leave with this baby and I'm like, wait.
Like it's almost like, were we supposed to do this? They checked it out to us. It's ours now. Like I feel like we're gonna have that moment of just like awkward, like how do we us again?
Like, hi, I'm your mom. Nice to meet you.
Well, and after you give birth, like these nurses are like helping the baby latch on your boob, and I'm like, these people aren't even moms, but they know more than you, and you're like, I feel like I should know this,
Right. Yeah. And you're like, do you actually mind coming home with me just for like maybe the first couple
It's
days?
so humbling have a nurse teach you how to change a diaper.
oh,
My daughter's diaper is the first I've ever changed.
I've never changed a diaper.
Yeah.
I've done everything I can to avoid that. Everything.
And so it's landed you successly. You've still never changed a diaper?
Nailed it.
Yeah, no, me either.
Yeah.
Neither of us have siblings.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Oh my God.
Like that was really
Try that
dramatic.
again. Just-
Like
okay.
that makes so much sense.
Yeah,
now,
you're like,
guys.
it's
We're not
all, this all makes
diseased.
sense.
but it makes sense you guys haven't changed diapers.
Yeah,
No.
yeah. We also, I feel like our friends are just now coming into the age of like, I just turned 31, Jeremy's 30.
It's 1 year older than you. Yep. 32. Yep.
And
I feel like it hasn't changed from last time.
I know, I still, it's
Yeah.
because I just turned 31, so I'm like, wait,
I
how old am
didn't
I?
just turn
And how old are
32.
you in comparison to me? Anyways, I feel like our friends are just starting to get into the era of like considering childbirth and freezing
Yes.
eggs, making embryos, having kids.
Yeah.
And so I'm sure there'll be a diaper in our future before we have to do one of our own.
We're also the type of people who like when someone's like, "You want to hold my baby?" and my immediate reaction is, "I'll drop it." And
Oh
accident.
no,
I can't.
Isaac's the type of guy that would have said no.
Yeah.
Initially.
But,
like,
Right.
but can catch a football if a 300 pound
Yeah.
like person's running at him.
Yes.
That seems natural.
very
but
natural.
the baby,
Oh no, before we had a baby, him holding a child was like this.
yeah.
And I'm like, but now he's so natural. Obviously,
Yeah,
he's
right,
very
'cause
natural.
he's figured
with
it out. Yeah.
But, like I just feel like I'm like, oh, I don't want to.
Like a hot potato, just like
yeah.
a stinky
It's
potato.
like you want
Your
to
buddy.
like get it too.
I mean, I
I
don't
don't
know.
think I've ever seen you hold the baby.
It's because I've never held a baby.
Oh no!
What?
Oh no! The first baby you hold can't be yours.
I know. You've never held a baby, babe?
Well, because I mean, no
think
matter
so.
what if her birth isn't a C-section, you probably will have to wait a little bit. But the C-section, Isaac had to hold her before I did.
Wow.
So, and then he was just in the hospital room as they were like putting my insides back inside.
See, now I just
rearranging
So
my
he
organs.
was like, yeah, they just gave me this baby. And I'm like alone in a
gonna
room with
find
her
a
for
task.
5 minutes and just staring at it.
I'm gonna find a task.
Jared's
to
gonna
do.
be like, so do you like Sudoku? Like,
I couldn't. If your organs are out, I gotta be out.
if the organs are out, Jeremy's will be on the ground. So there's a patient number 2.
See, but now that I've done it once, I'm like, I want the clear tarp where you can see everything that's happening.
you do
Oh,
want
yeah.
the clear tarp?
I want the clear tarp.
Girl, I don't know. I don't know
What?
about
Because
that.
like, what's the worst thing that's gonna happen? I'm gonna pass out. It's like I'll come to
That's
eventually.
true. You're also laying down already.
And I'm in a hospital.
So when you get the C-section, they put a tarp basically like right at your chest, right? So
Yeah.
you just can't, because most people
A TV tray.
don't want, well, like vertical. Like,
Right, a
So if
big
you're
TV tray.
laying down.
But also, you think about somebody getting a C-section. You know what? Like the visual that kind of looks like
No,
the tarp and everything.
arguably never.
The visual, yes.
Yes, but like the visual, you think the tarp is so much lower. Look at your stomach, and that's where they're cutting.
Yeah, but that's why I would very much want it to be opaque. So
Yeah.
opaque, so opaque.
Yeah, whatever's going on.
Usually
there.
like a sound
No.
barrier as well too.
Our doctor told us to make a playlist, so we made a playlist and everything.
Oh my god! Wait, what did you have on the playlist?
Christmas music because it was about to be Christmas, and I was like,
That's
happy."
cute.
Yeah, but she was born to the song "Yellow."
Oh.
It was all yellow, and it's so cute. Yeah, it was
But if you want to like make up another like story, you were actually born to this song, which is why we called you Joy, and
you were born to like Stacy's mom, which is fun.
that would be amazing.
Honestly, yeah, I wouldn't be mad at that whatsoever.
Yeah, it's crazy. You can like just decide random things like that. You're like, I want you to be born to this song.
Well, I'm just glad that he was able to be there
Yes,
because there's probably a lot of worlds
because
where that wouldn't happen.
there are a few guys that I've heard not being at the birth and they have to FaceTime in.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah.
I just can't imagine. Like, imagine you going through that by yourself without like your partner at your side. Like, that's
I
terrifying.
don't know how I was planning on doing that. I mean, she was always breech, so we were always planning on scheduling
Yeah.
a C-section, but like I could have gone into spontaneous labor and still
Yeah.
needed a C-section. So it's, and like she's breech, you have to get the C-section really quick because they don't want you to dilate and like whatever.
Yeah.
So I would have had to just immediately go in, but it's crazy. I didn't have anything lined up like when in Vegas. I had interviewed night nurses, but like I was like, that seems like not personal. Like I don't want to do that. Like everybody for themselves. But I was planning on raw dogging it.
Oh my
so
God.
coming home from the hospital and him going to he had an away game in Kansas City. Like we were planning to give
my
birth
God.
on like a Tuesday, and he would have left on Friday.
Oh my god.
And you have to be hospitalized for 3 days. I was like, what the fuck was I
Yeah,
thinking?
right. What was the plan?
What
There
were you
was no
thinking?
plan.
Did you ever plan?
I'm just like so used to like living a chaotic life and like moving all the time. I'm like,
Yeah.
"Man,
We'll
fuck
figure it
We'll
out.
figure it
Yeah, yeah.
But like, how do you balance that? Because I feel like it'd be very easy to be like, feel some type of way, like, oh, I'm giving all this for him versus like for us. Like I feel like that's a very difficult thing to keep in balance.
Yeah, it's crazy you say that because I feel like more so now with him being home, I'm like, wait. I'm like, eventually, like he's going to retire, and I'm like, are things be focused back on me? Like this is so weird to be
Yeah.
always focused. It's crazy because being with a professional athlete, you have to make a lot of sacrifices. So like me not having a lot of friends in like one place and like being away from my family, you have to make a lot of sacrifices. And I'm like, is he gonna make sacrifices for me? Obviously, he's a like walking green flag.
Exactly.
But it's a conversation because he's so used to having everything all on him.
Sure.
Right.
So it's gonna be a weird transition when that day does come.
I mean, also like
It'll
you
be
say,
him with his four children. you know what I
literally.
mean?
like you say retire.
We're building a football team.
And it's, like, it's retiring from one job, and then like, what's next? It's not like, and this is the end.
Well,
Whatever.
yeah, exactly. People are always like, what job is he gonna get now? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, he's played 7 years. So if you have to immediately get a job, like, But I feel like now that we've built like social media platforms, we
Yeah.
have like Airbnbs. I feel like the point is like was to build it up during his football season or football career. And so when he's done, we have other things.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel
you
like you've
both
done a
have-
great job.
Yeah. I feel like we have. We have
Yeah.
like a bunch of different eggs and
Baskets.
whatever.
multiple eggs in your basket.
we have
Right?
different things.
Wait, no, don't put all your eggs in one basket. That's the saying. We've
Yeah.
got multiple baskets, multiple eggs.
Diversified
Yes.
portfolio revenue.
I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Something about eggs.
But like you built that together at a time when it could have been easily been like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
that's not my job. I'm not interested in that. You need to
Right.
make money. I'm going to sit here. And like, obviously you would have been bored to tears on top of the fact that like, who would want to do that? But like,
Yes.
not everyone's doing what you're doing, I assume.
No, because when he was playing for the Los Angeles Chargers, we were here for 4 years.
Yeah.
So I had a regular schmegular job. I was an interior designer. I worked for a staging company, and I went into my job and I came home and whatever. But then when he was about to be a free agent, I was like, wait, I don't want to sit at home
Yeah.
and just wait for him to come home and like, here's dinner.
That's got
I'm
to
not-
breed resentment too.
No, well, I'm a Capricorn, so I'm always.
Whatever that
That
means.
doesn't.
Sure. yeah.
That's not.
Well,
gonna-
we're
Whatever,
known as
whatever
like
you say, I'm going to believe. Go ahead.
we're known as like hard workers and like I like
Oh, Capricorn.
yeah.
Okay.
he's back. He's back.
I'm like, I'm a Capricorn, duh. No, so I feel like I like knew that I had to make money a different way.
Yeah.
And so that's when I started my Airbnb. And I was like, oh, this is like, money's coming in from this. This is cool.
But when you were an interior designer in LA
Mm-hmm.
with a husband in the NFL, how much did you feel like you had to explain yourself to your employer at the time? for
Oh,
them to
it was
understand?
bad.
Yeah.
Oh my God. The guy I worked for was oh my God. Is it misogynist? Like he hated women.
Yeah.
And it was really weird because I was like, all the designers were women
yeah, I was
except
gonna
like
say
one.
you're in like a very like.
I'm like, this is weird. And so he was like, well, I'm not going to give you a raise because your husband's the NFL or boyfriend.
And like,
Wait, so he would be like, you should be.
Oh, yeah.
Like career stunted because you're.
so that he would give, and I was an independent contractor, so he wouldn't give me like the bigger contracts.
Sure.
He's just like, somebody else needs this
He's
more.
like, you'll be fine.
And I'm like, this is weird.
That's fucked.
and I think it's probably difficult to hear that for anybody, but it's really difficult to hear that at the same time people are telling you that you cannot feel bad for yourself.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, wait,
Yeah.
which one is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a really weird play, but then I left and I was like, fuck you.
And now you've got Airbnbs.
Yeah.
But you
and
almost,
the
you almost
social
have
media.
to take over control of
Yeah.
that. Like otherwise, like if you're constantly waiting for someone
For
to tell
sure.
you that like you can show up to work like everybody else, I think it's really difficult to feel.
Well, it's weird because I'm like, here I am proving myself that I'm like not just married to him for the money.
Right.
I think initially I was making like $16 an hour, which is not affordable
Not in
life
LA.
in California.
LA.
Yeah, yeah.
And then me and him are still splitting dinners. We split rent up until we got married. And so I'm like, everyone's telling me I'm with you for the money, but I don't see any of the money.
You're like, wait, okay, what money? Where's the money? Where's the money?
I know. I'm like, I literally paid him 50% of rent, which I don't even think I should have been doing that because I'm like, we should take percentages of how much each makes.
right. And yeah.
You're like, you know what? I would like to be with you for the money. I've decided. This would be nice.
Exactly.
Yeah. You know what? I want everybody else to be correct.
I'm like, all these rumors, yeah, I want to happen. So yeah, it was a really weird. And also, like everyone's like, oh, your husband was a free agent, so he bought you a job when he left that city. I was like, I
my
paid for the
fucking
house
God.
myself, and they're like, well, his name's. I was like, he has better credit. I'm sorry.
But like, I mean, like coming out like 9 years later, would you have done it any differently? Would you have like done things sooner or later, like professionally for yourself?
No, I think I would do it all the same.
Cool.
Again.
That's amazing.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I think the only thing I wish I would have done with social media was share more earlier on.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Because I feel like now my audience almost feels like my community in a way.
Yeah,
Sure.
absolutely.
And so like when I'm moving around all the time and I'm like, oh, like I'm sad about this and I post my Instagram story, like people will be like, oh, I just moved to a new city. I know it's so hard.
Yeah.
Like it sucks. I'm like, oh wow, like her husband's not in the NFL moving around all the time, but like people can still relate to bits and pieces. And I feel like now like sharing that, I'm grateful I did, but
Yeah.
I wish I would have done more.
Wow. That's
Yeah,
cool.
That totally makes sense. So
Yeah.
what's next? What are you working on now?
So my podcast,
Yeah.
I am really excited to bring sports to the community who doesn't know a lot.
but you are doing it.
No, but that's no. I'm like
You're
I'm the
doing it.
demographic, and I feel like you do such a great job
But
of
if
it.
I heard that before, I've been like, we'll see about that. No. I don't know why Amazon hasn't just bought the show and put you on Thursday
You hear
nights.
that, Amazon?
You hear that, Amazon?
I think there should be a second broadcast next to the one and just like, this is what they mean by that. That's, I don't know why they're overcomplicating it.
No, literally, it's like the SpongeBob Super Bowl.
I would listen
it's
to
like,
it.
Yes.
that's me.
Oh my
I would
god,
listen to it.
I love the SpongeBob
And so,
Super Bowl.
yeah, I want it to be interesting not only for like beginners in sports, but also people who are like, wait, I want to just know like more of the behind the scenes. And I'm
Yeah.
like, there's no other person who knows more of the behind the scenes than I do.
Yeah.
And I feel like over the past 7 years, we have so many great connections. And so I'm really excited to like have guests on and like make it more interesting, but also still explain sports as like dummy or sports for dummies.
Yeah, but like,
No, I'm not calling you all dummies.
like
no, I'm a sports
no.
dummy. It's okay.
Yeah,
But like hearing, it's like seeing the titles of like how annoying it would be for like your husband to like get fined, like just for some stupid reason that like I've never thought about that as it relates to a human. I've always been like, oh, a fine for an athlete. It doesn't matter. You're like, excuse me, hold on. What?
$7,000 for socks.
Yeah, it's like, what, sir?
That's insane.
Wear the right socks. Like I could totally imagine that. But it just humanizes things that otherwise I feel like feel
he
too
wore
big.
socks. They fell down.
And-
you can't see any skin on your leg.
Got it.
So it's more like, don't focus on the game. Pull up your socks.
Right. Yeah.
But
yeah.
refs will like tap you on the back and be like,
pull up your socks.
see, these are the things
to
that
tell you,
not,
like,
commentators don't know this shit, and I
No,
do.
but also-
which is why my podcast is better than any other sports podcast.
But the commentator's husband didn't come home and lose $35,000 or $50,000 or $100,000. Where you're like,
the
this
fines
happens.
get crazy,
That's
and
what I've
like
heard.
the second offense even gets more wild.
Wow.
So like, you better not catch him with socks that aren't
You better-
right on up there.
This
Pull
is
up
how you
those
get the
fucking
sports
socks.
dummies though, because I'm like, ooh, that's tea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm like, sports are interesting. If you're watching a game, it can be really boring. But I'm like, if you know that guy has socks are down, you're like, you're gonna get a
I'm like,
$7,000
ooh,
fine.
$7,000.
You're like
Like,
DMing
that's-
the wife, like
yeah.
you are gonna have a fine.
That's kind of funny.
Exactly. But yeah, so Sunday Sports Club season 2, I'm really excited because now it's a little bit more professional. Initially, I was just doing it in my house by myself.
I loved it.
And it was good. It was good. I feel like it's going to get better.
So you haven't done it since having a child.
No, I just recorded the first episode. I'm recording the second episode tomorrow. Like,
Oh my God, amazing.
it's different because
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't just have my husband hop on and give his take. I'm like, he's being a dad. Like,
Right.
it's like taking care of our child.
oh, right, while you're recording.
Yeah.
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 But like, it's
So-
very obvious
Oh,
how much
man.
you care that it's entertaining and accurate.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's where I'm like, I don't want to lose people because sports can get boring.
Sure.
And I never want to be the podcast that people are like, oh, okay, like you lost me.
Yeah.
So I'm trying not to lose people.
Yeah. I think give Scotty a mic and
No, literally. She's
yeah. And I'll be like, yes, I thought the same thing.
So if you,
I can't wait
So
for
if
her
you're
to do
if you're sports adjacent, if you're kid adjacent, if you're parent adjacent, what are the?
Oh, yeah.
Who else should give this a shot?
I feel like everybody.
Okay.
I feel like the podcast is for everybody. You're going to see bits and pieces. And once I start to get like more people on as guests, it'll be fun to get their stories. And like, it's always going to relate back to sports, but that's when you can go to your husband and be like, I know more than you. I'm like, that guy literally did X, Y, and Z. And he's going to be like, wait, what?
Huh?
Today, when I was like giving like some background, I was like, and so Isaac's a free agent, and that means that he could get signed anytime from now until the Super Bowl.
I was
You're like,
Thank you. That's amazing.
you're like, this is great.
Yes, babe, you nailed it.
It's my favorite thing when girls are like, oh my God, my husband didn't know this. And like, I got to tell him about it. And I'm like, thank you.
A superpower.
Yeah.
Yeah. But also like every guy's like, what did you just say? Huh? Who have you been hanging out with?
Exactly. Like,
It's the podcast I listen to. Yeah. You wouldn't get it.
no, I love it. And I love that it's like about to launch. I'm excited. Football season's about to begin. We might move. Who knows?
So
But-
what days are the new episodes on?
Every Sunday.
Every Sunday.
Ooh, that
Every
makes sense.
Sunday.
That makes sense.
I was planning on launching them on Monday. I was like, wait, it's Sunday Sports Club. Like, let's launch it on Sunday. But now I feel like it's almost better because like you can listen to it before football games begin.
Yeah, that's perfect.
So
And just
like
a
it.
football day.
yeah, so every Sunday and then Thursdays it'll be like an up-to-date news. Huddle up.
2 a week?
Yeah.
You're
Wow.
crazy.
I am.
That's crazy. I love it.
I'm like, my husband tells me all the time. Yeah, but it'll be like a 15-minute episode on Thursday.
Oh, cute.
that's
Perfect.
fun.
Yeah, for like a little like.
People are gonna be like, I see Scotty in the background. I'm like, just work with me.
Oh, please. Yes, Scott is in the background.
Yeah, exactly.
Because she's my child.
I'm like, yeah, she lives here.
She pays rent here too.
She actually owns this house, and I'm just a guest.
As it should be. As it should be. Well, thank you so much for coming on the pod.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. This was fun.
We'll have the
Gonna
links below.
Yeah, all your links below for Sunday Sports Club.
Love it. Be
And
sure to listen.
Can't wait to learn what a second down is.
I love it.
Did I say that right?
Didn't say it wrong.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a thing.
There is a second down.
There is a second down.
Okay, great.
After the first.
And next
After
time you
the
come
first.
back, bringing the pups and Isaac.
And the baby. So, you
And
guys,
you're making a hold-
so we
I'm
can
making a
we can see how
baby.
you hold a baby.
I mean, if there's room. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh my God.
She's thick.
Okay.
So she's sturdy.
She's sturdy?
Yeah, she's sturdy.
That's we specifically choose dogs that are sturdy as well too.
Exactly.
If
Yeah.
Isaac can do it, I'll try. I'll try.
It's gonna be great.
Okay.
Jeremy's gonna hold his first baby.
Thanks for hanging
Yeah,
out
I
with
can't
us.
wait. Thank you.
All right, guys.
We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.